Hey everyone, and welcome back at Tech Talk Central. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Sarah.
We're diving into the world of soundbars today, specifically the ones with woofers, the ones that'll make your living room seriously boom.
You're looking to upgrade that home theater audio, and we've got the intel on 3 top contenders.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We're talking the Bose Smart Soundbar Ultra Dolby Atmos, the Samsung HWQ990D, and the Vizio 5.1.2 Elevate. Each one bringing something unique to the table, so buckle up.
Yeah.
First up, the Bose Smart Soundbar Ultra Dolby Atmos with the Bass Module 700. This one seems perfect for those who want a truly immersive experience. Without a ton of fuss, what's the key takeaway here?
Well, the Bose system utilizes Dolby Atmos by including upward-firing speakers that bounce sound off your ceiling. It's designed to make you feel like you're right in the middle of the action.
So if there's like a helicopter scene in a movie, it'll sound like it's flying right over your head.
Exactly. And Bose takes it a step further with their TrueSpace technology. It analyzes the audio even if it's not specifically encoded for Dolby Atmos.
Yeah.
And creates a wider, more spacious soundstage.
So even if you're watching older content, you'll still get that immersive feeling.
That's right.
And for those who struggle to hear dialogue in movies, Bose has you covered. Their AI dialogue mode intelligently balances the volume levels so that whispers are crystal clear even when the action scenes are booming.
Right.
So it's like having a volume control specifically for dialogue. That's a game changer for sure. But let's be real. Premium features usually come with a premium price tag.
You are absolutely right. This Bose bundle is a bit of an investment. It comes in at around $568.
Got it. So for those who demand top-notch quality and have the budget for it, this Bose setup is definitely worth considering. Now let's shift gears to the Samsung HWQ990D. This beast boasts an 11.1.4 channel system, which might sound intimidating, but is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
What's fascinating here is that the 11.1.4 channel system translates to 11 speakers facing forward, a dedicated subwoofer for that deep bass, and 4 speakers shooting sound upwards for that overhead Dolby Atmos effect.
So you're literally surrounded by sound. That's got to be an incredible experience.
It is, and to really seal the deal on the surround sound experience, the Samsung HWQ990D comes with a wireless rear speaker kit. You get true surround sound without having to run wires all over your living room.
That's a huge win for convenience.
Right. But what about those who don't have a Samsung TV? Will they still get the full benefit of all these features?
That's a great question. While the HWQ990D does offer some special features when paired with the Samsung TV, like their Q Symphony technology, which syncs the soundbar with your TV speakers, it's still an audio powerhouse on its own.
So even if you have a different brand of TV, you're still getting a top-of-the-line soundbar.
Absolutely.
Now let's move on to our third contender, the Vizio 5.1.2 Elevate. This one is known for delivering impressive sound at a more approachable price point.
And what makes the Elevate stand out are its rotating speakers. They adapt based on what you're watching. Dolby Atmos, they point up, music, they rotate forward for a more direct soundstage.
So it's like having 2 soundbars in one. That's pretty slick. And it still has a decent number of speakers, right?
Yes, the Vizio Elevate packs a total of 13 speakers, including a wireless subwoofer, to create a multi-dimensional sound experience.
So even though it has fewer channels than the Samsung, it still delivers that immersive feel.
Exactly.
And for those who like a little visual flair, the Vizio Elevate also features color-changing accent lighting.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I can see how that would add to the whole home theater vibe. So we've got 3 fantastic soundbars here, each with its own unique strengths.
Definitely.
But they all have one thing in common. They'll seriously upgrade your home theater audio with their powerful woofers and immersive sound capabilities.
Absolutely.
All right, we've covered 3 awesome sound bars. But before you rush out and buy one, there are a few key things to consider to make sure you get the perfect fit for your needs.
Right. Picking a soundbar can feel overwhelming, especially with all the technical terms out there. So let's break it down and make it easy to understand.
Okay.
First things first, size matters. And I'm not just talking about the woofer.
I see what you did there. But seriously, you want to make sure the soundbar size is proportional to your TV and the space you're putting it in. You don't want it to be too big or too small.
Exactly. Measure your TV's width and just consider how the soundbar is going to look in your living room.
But size isn't everything. We also need to talk about channels. Remember those numbers we mentioned earlier? Like 11.1.4?
Yeah, those numbers might seem like a secret code, but they're actually pretty simple. Think of channels like lanes on a highway. More lanes means smoother traffic flow, right? Well, more channels mean more detailed and immersive sound.
So in the case of the Samsung HWQ9 D with its 11.1.4 channel system, that means you've got 11 speakers facing forward for a wider soundstage, one subwoofer for deep bass, and 4 speakers pointing upwards for that overhead Dolby Atmos effect.
It's like having a personal orchestra in your living room.
Exactly. Now, speaking of Dolby Atmos, let's dive a little deeper into what makes this technology so special.
Dolby Atmos is a game changer in the home theater world because it adds a vertical dimension to surround sound. It's not just about sound coming from all around you, but also from above you.
So it's like having speakers in your ceiling.
You got it. And it makes a huge difference in how you experience movies, shows, and games. Imagine watching a nature documentary where birds are flying overhead. With Dolby Atmos, you'll actually feel the sound moving above you, as if those birds were right in your living room.
It's got to be amazing. But isn't Dolby Atmos only for newer content?
That's a good question. While it's true that not all content is available in Dolby Atmos, more and more streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and Disney Plus are offering it. And many Blu-ray discs also have Dolby Atmos soundtracks.
So it's becoming more and more common, which is great news for anyone looking to upgrade their home theater experience. Now let's talk about something equally important: connectivity. How do these soundbars connect to our TVs and other devices?
Well, you've got a few options. The most basic is an optical cable, which transmits audio digitally and is pretty much plug and play. Most TVs and soundbars have optical ports.
That sounds simple enough, but what if you want a more streamlined setup, maybe even wireless?
Then you'll want to look for a soundbar with HDMI ARC or EARC. These HDMI connections are a step up from optical because they can handle higher quality audio formats, including Dolby Atmos.
So HDMI ARC is essential for anyone who wants that immersive 3D sound experience.
Exactly. Plus, with HDMI ARC, you can usually control your soundbar's volume using your TV remote, which is super convenient.
One remote to rule them all. I love it. But what about EARC? Is that even better than regular HDMI ARC?
You could say that. EARC supports even higher bandwidth, which means it can handle uncompressed audio formats. For the absolute best audio fidelity, it's the ultimate choice for serious audiophiles or gamers who demand the highest quality sound.
Okay, so ERC is like HDMI ARC on steroids, but what about streaming music from our phones or tablets? Do we need wires for that?
Not at all. Pretty much every soundbar these days comes with Bluetooth, so you can easily stream your favorite music wirelessly from your phone, tablet, or laptop.
So I can be blasting my workout playlist 1 minute and then switch to immersive movie audio the next, all without messing with any wires.
Exactly. And some soundbars even offer additional wireless connectivity options like Wi-Fi and AirPlay, giving you even more flexibility.
Wow, so many options. It's clear that choosing a soundbar isn't just about picking the one with the biggest woofer.
Definitely not. You need to consider your budget, the size of your room, the type of content you enjoy, and how you want to connect it to your other devices.
Right, and if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't worry. There are tons of resources online to help you compare different models and find the perfect soundbar for your needs.
And don't be afraid to visit a local electronics store and actually listen to a few different soundbars in person. Hearing them firsthand can really make a difference.
That's a great point. You want to make sure that the sound profile matches your preferences. Some people prefer a warmer, richer sound, while others prefer a brighter, more detailed sound. And if you are planning on upgrading your TV soon, it might be worth considering a soundbar from the same brand as your TV. Often you can unlock some really cool synergy features.
Like Samsung's Q Symphony technology, which we mentioned earlier, it combines the soundbar and TV speakers for an even more powerful audio experience.
Exactly. There's a lot to think about, but don't let it intimidate you. Choosing a soundbar should be fun. It's all about finding the one. That'll make your home theater experience truly amazing.
Absolutely.
All right, folks, we've talked a lot about soundbars, but now it's time to put our money where our mouth is. In this final part, we're diving deep into the Samsung HWQ990D, taking it for a test drive, and sharing our hands-on experience.
I'm excited about this one. On paper, the HWQ990D has it all. 11.1.4 channels, wireless Dolby Atmos, a wireless rear speaker kit, and even Q Symphony for those with Samsung TVs.
It's a true powerhouse, and we're going to see if it lives up to the hype. So you've had some time to spend with the HWQ990D. What were your first impressions?
Honestly, I was blown away by how easy it was to set up. For a system with so many components, I expected a tangled mess of wires and a complicated setup process. But Samsung has made it incredibly user-friendly. The wireless rear speakers connected seamlessly, and the subwoofer paired right up without any issues.
That's great to hear. because I know a lot of people are intimidated by the idea of setting up a multi-speaker system. But let's get to the heart of the matter, the sound. How does the HWQ-99DD actually perform?
In a word, spectacular. The first thing I did was test it out with a Dolby Atmos movie, and it was like being transported into a completely different world. The overhead effects were so realistic, it felt like things were actually flying over my head, and the overall sound stage was incredibly wide and immersive. You really feel enveloped by the sound.
So those upward-firing speakers really do deliver on that 3D audio experience.
They absolutely do. But even with content that isn't specifically mixed for Dolby Atmos, the HWQ-99ZD still sounds amazing. Those 11 forward-facing speakers create a rich and detailed soundstage, and dialogue clarity is crystal clear.
That's fantastic. And what about those wireless rear speakers? Do they live up to the hype?
They exceeded my expectations. They blended seamlessly with the soundbar, creating a truly immersive surround sound experience. And the fact that they're wireless is just the icing on the cake. No more unsightly wires running across the living room.
Yeah, I can see why that would be a game changer for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But let's talk to those listeners who aren't necessarily audiophiles. What are some of the things that the average person would notice and appreciate about the HWQ-99DD?
Even if you're not an audio expert, you'll immediately feel the impact of the subwoofer. It delivers deep, room-shaking bass that adds a visceral dimension to movies, music, and games. You literally feel the rumble of explosions and the thump of a musical beat.
It sounds like the soundbar can really pack a punch.
Oh, absolutely. Another thing that impressed me was the adaptive sound feature. It's like having a personal sound engineer built right into the soundbar. It analyzes the audio in real time and adjust the settings to optimize the listening experience for whatever you're watching or listening to.
So it takes the guesswork out of finding the perfect sound settings.
Exactly. And it works incredibly well. Dialogue is always clear, even during action-packed scenes, and music sounds balanced and dynamic.
Now, I know the HWQ-99DD also has a bunch of different sound modes. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure, you've got your standard modes like standard, surround, and adaptive, but there's also a dedicated Game Pro mode, which is fantastic for gamers. It enhances directional audio cues, making it easier to hear footsteps and pinpoint the location of enemies.
That's a cool feature. So it's like giving gamers a competitive advantage.
Exactly. And for those who love the convenience of voice control, the HWQ-990D has built-in Amazon Alexa. You can control the soundbar with your voice, adjust the volume change, sound modes, or even play music.
Wow, so it's a smart soundbar as well. That's impressive. And I can't forget to mention the Q Symphony feature for those who have Samsung TVs.
Ah, yes, Q Symphony. It's like the ultimate synergy feature. It synchronizes the soundbar speakers with the TV's speakers, creating an even more powerful and immersive sound experience. It's a true testament to the power of a well-integrated ecosystem.
So it sounds like the Samsung HWQ-990D is pretty much the ultimate soundbar. But are there any downsides or things that potential buyers should be aware of?
Well, as with any high-end piece of tech, there are a few things to consider. The size of the soundbar itself is something to keep in mind. It's a fairly large unit, so you'll need to make sure you have enough space for it.
That's a good point. And of course, price is always a factor. This is a premium soundbar with a premium price tag. But I think it's safe to say that for those who are serious about their home theater audio, the HWQ-990D is worth the investment.
I wholeheartely agree. It delivers an exceptional audio experience that's hard to beat.
Well, there you have it, folks. The Samsung HWQ-990D. A soundbar that truly lives up to the hype. We've had a blast diving deep into the world of soundbars with woofers, exploring different models, key features, and what to consider when making your choice. We hope you've enjoyed this audio adventure and feel equipped to find the perfect soundbar to elevate your home theater experience.
Absolutely.
And to find the latest prices and deals on the soundbars we discussed today, be sure to check out the links in the description below. And if you want more in-depth tech reviews and discussions, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of our future deep dives. We'll see you in the next one.